Katipunan, radyo-katipunan, 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 radyo-katipunan. Voice of the Blue Eagle, kami di mapipigil sa pagbabalitang tumpak at tama. Buhay Atenista, sa loob sa labas ng eskwela, ating ibibida lahat ng kwela. Radyo-katipunan, radyo-katipunan, radyo-katipunan. Kawal ni Ignacio, Katipunero, sugod, todo sa kayod, dunong at tulog. Lipad na Blue Eagle, galing giting nagigil. Blue and white, one big fight. Radyo-katipunan, radyo-katipunan,
Blue Eagle, kami di mapipigil sa pagbabalitang tumpak at tama. Buhay Atenista, sa loob sa labas ng eskwela, ating ibibida lahat ng kwela. Kawal ni Ignacio, Katipunero, sugod, todo sa kayod, tunong at tulong. Lipad na Blue Eagle, galing giting at tigil. Blue and white, one big fight. Katipunan.
Alright. Hello everyone. Hey, what's up, you guys? It's your boy Ralphie Superfly. Your student who loves to care all the way from 2 BS Communications Technology Management, and welcome back to another week of meaningful conversations with our beloved organizations here in the Ateneo, right here at Kwentuhang MVP. We are coming to you loud and live from our homes by the Facebook pages of radyo-katipunan 87.9 FM, Ateneo de Manila University, and of course, the Council of Organizations Ateneo, Manila. You can stream us also via radyo-katipunan's YouTube channel at radyo-katipunan FM. Alright guys, we are also coming in live and loud via the audio streams at any Shoutcast online radio station all around the world. Grabe guys, worldwide tayo today. And yeah, we're also transmitting via the 87.9 FM frequency. So tune in if you are within the 2-kilometer radius of the Ateneo de Manila campus. Alright, so last time on KMVP, we had a very special episode. Actually, one of my orgs, VP ako dito, we had a Blue Rep takeover where our dear Blue Reppers shared their experiences while working on their season finale, my favorite, First Date. So I'm sure we all had a blast watching that last episode, but guys, wait, there's more. We've got even more exciting things coming for you this week, especially as we are getting near the national elections. Ayan. So without further ado, here's a short video give you a hint on our guests for today.
The Ateneo Assembly is a community of nation builders, change makers, and trailblazers. We are a community of Ateneans from different courses, devoted and engaged in making a better society, guided by our 6 core competencies. The Ateneo Assembly encourages respectful discourse and dialogue to transform opinions into critical, ethical, and rational analysis. Our thoughts lead us to action to promote nation building. We cultivate vigilant and active members who promote a humane culture of truth and freedom in Philippine society. Our politics is one rooted in the spirit of non-partisanship, engaging with social-political concerns with due respect to the issues they address and the people they involve. We politicize ourselves, our communities, and our nation, not to create conflict, but to solve it. The Ateneo Assembly emphasizes the importance of servant leadership. We provide for our members, our partners, avenues for growth, character building, education, and skills training. As students ourselves, we believe in youth empowerment. We believe in cultivating the voice, capabilities, and talents of the youth to empower them towards action. This is the Ateneo Assembly. This is the legacy we leave in the Ateneo, in our nation, and in you. The Assembly politicizes. The Assembly engages. The Assembly is you. Welcome to the Ateneo Assembly.
The Ateneo Assembly, we're incredibly excited to introduce our guests, James and Matthew. Guys, please introduce yourselves to our crowd. All right.
Hey, I can go first. Hi, I'm Matt Flores, the current VP for Political Education from the Ateneo Assembly.
And hi everyone, I am James Tolosa, the current Deputy Director for Membership Politicization as well in the Ateneo Assembly.
Ayan. Welcome guys to Kwentuhang MVP. So I hope you guys are doing great. And now our semester is down to its last few weeks. Have things been hectic recently? So how are you guys holding up?
Yeah, super hectic from the ACAD side. We all know how much things are piling up, but also from the org side, as elections near, Assembly is really trying to end the semester strong. We just finished one major project last week, and we're having another major project today, headed by James.
Mm.
You said it,
Alright.
Matt. So we're actually busy preparing for Nation. But our preparations for the project have been well prepared ever since the start of February. We've begun finding speakers, finding partners, and we're ready to execute it today. And let me just plug it to everyone here who's watching. So if you would like to go to Ateneo Assembly's Nation today, please join. Please register at bit.ly/FTN 2022 Reg.
All right. Thank you, James, for sharing. No, like I hope you guys are still okay, especially now you guys are juggling ACADS and especially org work now that you guys are actually heading a lot of things there in Ateneo Assembly. Actually felt like as org active people, grabe, laban guys. And now we also have an elections to worry, especially it's just 10 days. Guys, grabe 10 days na lang elections na. So I hope you guys are like ready. But I think are we really ready? But anyway, guys. So to begin, guys, can you tell us more about Ateneo Assembly? Like, what are your advocacies? What do you guys do? And the projects you guys initiated? Like, yeah, go ahead, guys.
Yeah, I can take this one. So Ateneo Assembly, on the outside we are the political science home organization, but we're not exclusive to just pol sci students. I believe more than just being a home org for Pulsi, we're a home org for politically active and people who want to engage in society. So a lot of what we do, part of our main advocacies is to really spark discourse on campus. No, we're really trying to promote people to politicize themselves, to work with other people, to come up with these solutions, and to ask meaningful and critical questions about society and especially of our own communities. So that's basically Assembly in a nutshell.
Right, I could complement that with the projects that Ateneo Assembly has initiated. So for this year, aside from Fascination and um, Ball and the Ateneo Youth Model Congress, we also had our Assembly's first podcast series forever. So that's entitled Symposium, where we get to where we get to invite speakers, and the speakers will help us hone our discourse skills, like what Matt said. Another major project that we have is currently the Pole Dialogues, which actually Matt heads, and we are right now actually concluding it as well. So um, support support our projects. Thank you very much.
Ayun. Thank you guys so much for sharing like what happens inside Ateneo Assembly. Because actually ako, as a song student, I feel like I've been like alienated towards that side. So guys, thank you so much for sharing. But ayun, like I really appreciate your initiatives, no? Like enlightening people about politics and trying to like engage people in yun nga, podcasts, events like what's gonna take place later this afternoon. So yeah, speaking about that, like let's talk about an event you guys have coming up. Like as we all know, the May 9 elections is fast approaching. Like what I've said earlier, it's just 10 days ten days to go na lang. And you guys have at the crossroads your latest event coming later today. So can you tell us more about it?
Okay, I can speak about that. So, at the crossroads, how first-time voters will decide the futures of local and national governance is basically a voting forum later 5 p.m. We decided to call it Crossroads because it's a major decision that we have to make. And we have to decide carefully. We have to maneuver or navigate through these multiple roads and decide choose we can only choose one side, and when we go there there's no turning back, and it's hard to change that. When we pursue that path, it's hard to change that compared to our original situation. That's the theme behind At the Crossroads.
Would you like to add more to that, Matt? Or
No, I think James put it perfectly. He's the project head for this, and it's really an opportunity for first time voters to understand the impact of what their vote can mean this May 9.
all right. So guys, thank you so much now for shedding light about at the crossroads. So I hope a lot of people are gonna I don't know, like attend and like really make the most out of this event because I really think yun nga, it's more than relevant, guys. It's actually more than relevant to join this forum. So speaking of that, guys, like what do you aim for the audience to take away after attending this forum?
Okay, our main objective is to, number one, conscientize or make aware, let the audience make aware of the value of a vote, because especially nowadays, the value of a vote has been either diminished either diminished, like it's in the sense that it's only a means to an end, it's only for personal satisfaction. Yet a vote is more than that. Even if just a mere single vote can change, and a mere single vote can change everything in society, in particular social movements, how they generate it. And second, how do we protect this vote? Because a vote may be powerful, but it can at the same time abused, used against us. So, sorry. What are the policies basically that protect, that ensure us that we and that enfranchise is right and let us consistently exercise it? So those are the two main objectives of Face the Nation this semester.
All right, thank you, James, for sharing. Because like I really agree with you. Like I feel like as in just a single vote can mean a lot. Like I feel like a lot of people are kind of like hopeless. Like I'm not saying all naman, but then a lot are like saying na parang oh it's just a vote. Like I can skip the May 9 elections or something. Like it's not relevant. It doesn't affect me. Because like I've been doing a lot of house to house campaigning recently. Yeah. Like just recently, I went to 7 barangays in a day, and a lot of people are unaware of how grave the elections are now. Like, so thank you guys so much, no, for organizing this forum. Especially, I hope fellow students like us get to like and be enlightened how grave and like how important the elections is, especially with that one single vote. So anyway, at a crossroads seems to be a part of a long-standing series of events called Face the Nation. So, could you guys tell us more about this? Like, what have you guys been up to? Like, what have you guys been tackling in these forums?
So I think Face the Nation overall, I'll just give a brief overview, because James really heads these projects. But Face the Nation is all about, well, facing the nation with hard hitting and very relevant topics. So first and foremost, all of our topics for Face the Nation will always be on pertinent issues, may it be critical issues in government or right now the May 9 elections. So part of the planning process is really sitting down with everyone and saying, hey, what's happening in society right now? And hey, what do you think people should know? Because while issues do exist and we hear them, it's different when you are able to face the nation, when you're able to really look at it straight in the face and say, okay, I understand what's wrong. Okay, I think I need to do something about this. And I think James can highlight a little more about the specific topics we've had in the past.
All right. So during my tenure as a member in Ateneo Assembly, I've actually handled three vaccinations straight already. So with the first one last year that I remembered was about campus militarization, because it was a time when the anti-terror law was has menaced or threatened the schools. So we tackled what's the problem when the military takes over the schools. Another one which we had actually last semester is the education. Actually, also about education, but this time, what does education look like in the post-COVID society? How will it affect? How will students be affected, and of course vaccination. So what you notice here is basic the essence here is basically there is a target sector being affected. So in the first two ones they were students. This time it's going to be first time voters, and we problematize the issues associated with them and help, and not really to impose what they should do, but to rather guide them and how to confront or face these national problems.
So yun, actually, shocks. I should have joined at least one of these, no? Because like, talagang grabe from campus militarization. I feel like I was anyway. Like, I feel like I've been also, concerned with these problems talaga, especially like ayun nga, and now, sorry, and now that we have like a May 9 election coming up, I feel like people really need to know more a lot about the issues. And thank you guys for, organizing the Face the Nation, especially yun nga, Matt, like you guys are really tackling like what's the problem right now. And sana meron din kayo for the SIM card law. Joke lang. But anyway, um, joke lang guys. But yeah, anyway, yun nga, Matt, you said earlier that there are like a lot of first-time voters right now. For the upcoming election, it's safe to say that yun nga, there's a lot from, especially from the youth. In a nutshell, what qualities or principles should the voter look for in a candidate? Like look for in a candidate? Like how do we determine if a candidate is fit for the position they are running for?
Sorry, just because you mentioned SIM card, I just wanted to also plug. We also do, apart from forums, we do a lot of primers, so a lot of infographics and posts. And we do have a critical analysis on SIM card law and some other national issues from another department, no? So just in case you're curious about that.
Ooh, that's so cool. Cause I think like I came across it then, like before. Like I feel like one of my friends shared, and I read through it talaga. So, all right. Um.
Right. Sorry, but what your question was?
Oh, all
Qualities,
right.
right?
Oh yeah. I'll repeat na lang the question. So for the upcoming elections, it's safe to say that there are a lot of first-time voters in the youth this year. So in a nutshell, what qualities or principles should the voter look for in a candidate? Like, how do we determine if a candidate is fit for the position they are running for? Like, take for example, president, senate. Yeah.
Mhm. I think your vote is a very personal thing, no. So there are certain aspects that you're looking for each candidate. But generally, for me at least, it boils down to two things. Do they represent you, and can they represent you well? So there's some candidates that speak, they advocate for you very much, and they represent you well. But when we talk about the halls of Congress and in politics, do they have the ability to represent you to that level? No. There are some candidates who really mean well, but perhaps they cannot represent their constituents just as enough, no? On the other hand, there are candidates who represent very well, have the ability to, but they don't engage in meaningful discourse and dialogue with their constituents. Siguro nga may political prowess ka, pero kung hindi ka nakikinig sa taong bayan, wala din nangyayari. So, at least for me as a voter as well, for this election, I'm looking for those two things. How well can you represent me? And do you actually understand my concerns and my aspirations as a Filipino citizen?
Yeah, and thank you, Matt, for sharing. How about you, James?
Actually, I'd like to delve further on what Matt said about political prowess, because what I had in mind is how power is used to serve people, and how the people can use that power to serve others as well. And we have, because power is a gift, but it's regard that it's sadly prone to abuse. So we have to we feel, if we really feel concerned about our country, then we might have to consider those who who use power for good. I call that the altruism, meaning disinterested service. You serve because you're not biased for yourself. You serve because you don't have any hidden motive. You serve just because you want others to grow, and part of that growth as well is their being political, because because power should, I believe that power isn't supposed to be concentrated to just one person. It has to be distributed so that be everyone can engage in politics. As what we always believe in the Ateneo Assembly, everything is political. Everyone is political. Therefore, and regardless of your social background, you can engage with politics.
Ayan. Thank you guys so much, no? Especially I'd like to go back with Matt, like, um, with your choice then talaga of your, who are you planning to vote for? Like, take for example, for me, I really want someone who would represent me as a youth voter. Take for example, one of the party lists I'm voting for really like has a good track record in representing us, the youth. I also, or sometimes parang if you guys are a worker, like if you guys are workers, if you guys are labor leaders, there are a lot of party lists that would protect you. And kunwari, if you're listening for right now, I hope you guys get to choose yun nga, the party lists, the candidates that would represent you well. Take for example, or sometimes for me, right now, like for the Senate I'm choosing, I really want to focus more on who are they representing for. Like take for example, for I want someone who represents the labor sector, the agriculture sector, the youth sector, and health sector in general. Like, and you guys should look into that as well. So thank you, no, Matt, for like sharing. Para let's really look into representation and like how they've been doing, like how they carried this for like the past few years, especially their track record, that they really represented these sectors they're representing. Because like sometimes there are party lists such as like say, oh, and this, and then like they aren't doing anything. So yeah, you guys should at least reflect on that, because sometimes even though you have political prowess, sometimes it doesn't reflect in um your track record. But anyway, guys, let's delve into some other topic as well. So guys, like what have been some misconceptions that Ateneans or the youth usually have regarding elections or other national events in the recent years?
Oh, I could take this one first. Off the top of my head, number one, I think in this critical time, young people especially should not be complacent. It's hard to argue if there is such thing as a solid youth vote. Again, there are so many young people across the Philippines with different contexts. So we can't say na, ay, ang kabataan, they vote this way, that way. That's something you have to be very careful of, because not all young people have access to the same kind of information that you do. So complacency is something that we should definitely avoid. Secondly, I'm also a great I'm a big advocate, personal advocate of local government. Right now, there's a lot of news on the national level of who should be your president, vice president, senators. Very, very important. And you actually mentioned this kanina, Ralph, no? It starts with looking at your party list. That is a crucial aspect that some people are not examining enough. And if you could take it a step further, how well are we researching our mayors? Mayors have a big impact in the daily lives of people. Yes, presidents can shape national policy at a wide scale over 6 years, but our mayors, our concejals, our barangays are the ones that really decide the day to day. In policy, you could call them local power brokers or the street level bureaucrats. But these are important aspects, important actors in the political system, no, that we have to take note of. I would like to cite, especially now in the pandemic, we saw how some municipalities and cities succeeded and exceeded expectations when it comes to community health and community development, while other cities really failed to deliver quality service and quality ayuda. And in part, you can see that with national government, but also in large part, you could see that with who is the mayor, who is the vice mayor, who are the people on the ground, no? So if I were to say anything to young people listening, it would be to really choose also your local leaders just as carefully, if not more carefully, than your president.
Okay. Let's further delve into the discussion that Matt said. Matt had great points about about the concejales, the basically how the election is being staged. I think the complacency roots from the notion that elections are just a popularity contest. People are like in this popularity contest that I see, people are likely to vote you depending on how well you're liked. So if regardless of your platform, if you click into the people, agad diretso na kagad boto mo. Well, but elections are more than that. Um, popularity does not necessarily translate to effective platforms, and without effective platforms, without policies, which Matt was mentioning, uh, the vote can be used against you. So yep, I want to challenge that notion that elections equals popularity contest.
Thank you guys so much for sharing some misconceptions and like, some beliefs na talaga. And I really agree with you all, especially like one of the things that you guys talked about. First up, complacency. Just because we're the youth and we're kind of like socially aware, I don't think that applies to a lot of us, no? Like I feel like there's still yeah, misinformed people, especially if you guys scroll through TikTok or YouTube. There have been like years of misinformation spreading all around and we're not aware or like we're not sure that all of us get the same education and same enlightenment towards these issues. That's why like I can't like take for example for me when I do house to house, there are a lot of teenagers out there who are eligible to vote were willing to vote just because of TikTok and what they see on social media. And that's alarming. And that's why there's a need for us talaga to go outside and really talk to people, tao sa tao, puso sa puso. Joke lang. Anyway, aside from that, I also agree with local government. Um, that's what like especially for us kunwari kapag nag-house to house kami, me and the volunteers, we're kind of like worried, sino kaya yung mayor mo, sino yung concejal mo. And we really like try to like discuss where kunwari for us, we're really keen on voting for this person because of the track record for the past few years. They've kind of like exude someone who is open for town halls, really listens to people. We really like look into these qualities and I hope you guys really look into and them as well, like yun nga yung sinabi ni Matt, and then how they've handled the pandemic, for example. Because for us, we had 2 years over the pandemic, and we really saw how they managed it, and it really like makes us know who the viable candidate right now is. And lastly, yung sinabi ni James about popularity. Oh my God. Some people kasi they've been in action films, they've been in YouTube for over a past few months, and they've been leaving the polls, which is kind of like alarming. And I hope you guys don't equate what their popularity entails talaga. Does their popularity actually give light to the betterment of our country. Anyway, so yeah, yun nga guys, no. Thank you guys so much for sharing some of the misconceptions and super nice discussion so far. So I hope you guys are doing great. Thumbs up naman tayo dyan if you guys are doing great. Ayan, thumbs up muna tayo para neutral. Joke lang. Anyway, ayan. Yeah. So, alright guys. Thank you ulit for sharing yung so far. So I hope you guys are doing great. Alright, let's wait for something. But anyway, guys, yeah. Oh no, I'm just waiting for something to ring, guys. But, ayan. Okay, what was that, guys? Did you hear that too? Grabe, nakaka-war flashback naman yung bell na yan. Tatakbo na ba ako? But guys, anyway, looks like it's time for our new segment right here at Kwentuhang MVP. This is How True and Blue Are You? So this minigame is really simple, guys. I will ask Ateneo-related and other trivia questions that you guys have to answer. Instead of a buzzer, please say your name out loud so we can hear kung sino talaga yung nauna. And you will then be given 5 seconds to answer correctly, otherwise the other guests may steal. So the person who gets the most points wins. So alright guys, let's go. So the Ateneo men's basketball team will face its last opponent for the elimination stage on Sunday, May 1. Who are they facing? Go.
Matt.
Okay, Matt.
Yeah, first.
Sino?
Sorry. Just a correction, di lang facing. I think we're gonna win it eh. Ateneo will be facing UP this Sunday, so I'll be there as well to cheer Ateneo. Yeah.
Grabe, ready yung tickets ni Matt. Congratulations. We already have one point for Matt already. Alright, so now for the next question. Are you guys ready? So, what date does this year's intersession begin?
James.
Okay, James, go.
Oh, June 13th.
Alright, grabe. I feel like naka-fan out na talaga yung calendar ni James. So guys, you have 1 point each. Sorry, nagkisan ako. 1 point each. Alright, so guys, I have a question. Ito naman on-site related. So what MVP room is the Ateneo Assembly assigned to?
Matt. As someone who went on site, it's actually MVP 312.
Alright, we already have 2 points. Kay Matt. I'm gonna do this. But anyway, ayan. Alright, next question. How many senatorial candidates are on the official ballot for the May 9 elections? Oh. Okay. Go, guys.
James, this is a wild guess, but
Go lang.
I'm so embarrassed. I'm so sorry, but I guess 20? I don't know. Wait, is it 20? Oh, whatever. Nasabi ko na 20. I know it's wrong.
How about you, Matt? Do you have any guess?
I'm gonna shoot a number and say 63.
Close enough. It's actually 64. Bakit si Zub... Anyway. Yeah, 64. Yeah, but no one got it correctly, so still Matt has 2 points and James has 1 point. And now, for how many Philippine presidents have studied in the Ateneo de Manila University, regardless of the school or degree? Bonus points if you can name one or more.
I feel like, Matt, there's 3. Or 2? Wala. I have no answer. I'll say 2.
Okay,
I'll
how
say
about you,
2.
James?
Final answer.
James, I counted 4.
Wrong. Actually, close enough, James. We already have 5 Philippine presidents who studied in the Ateneo de Manila University, and if I can name all of them, they're Benigno Aquino III, Corazon Aquino, Joseph Estrada, Gloria Macapagal Arroyo, and Fidel D. Ramos. Alright. So guys, thank you so much for participating. The winner for this round is Matt with 2 points. Alright. So sige guys. Grabe nun, close yung mga ibang answers nyo, like +1 lagi. So, alright. So now let's go back to Kwentuhan with you guys. So, now let's go back to your events, no? Like going back to the events you guys have, specifically at the Crossroads. How else can the youth be more concretely engaged in national and local matters?
Well, number one, I'm seeing a lot of young people doing house to house now. And I think that's a great way to really go on the ground. And there's really no better way to engage yourself than going on the ground and meeting people where they are. There's some value in what we're doing online, but at the end of the day, the people are out there, not in our homes. So if you have the ability and the opportunity, and of course the health, no, to go out, that's a great way. But if you can't, I think regardless of the setting or the location, it's to not be shy to have those conversations. Even in assembly, we understand how politics can be scary to talk about, or politics can be anxious. Baka kasi they don't agree with me, or baka kasi I don't get to explain my point very well. But I think there's no way to really perfect talking about politics, no? In the assembly, we even have our lapses now and then. There are limitations, but at the end of the day, our motto is always to take action, to try, and to just go for it, because politics is your own thing, no? So go out and have those discussions with people. I'd say is a meaningful way to get involved.
And I think to address what Matt said, the latter part of what Matt said about people feeling that, oh, politics is something, I don't know how to engage in politics. One way is to, especially if you're producing content, because this is what we do actually in the Office of the Executive Director for Politicization, or OEDP, is to popularize or laymanize. That's a strategy that we implement in producing the content. Meaning by popularize, you have to make technical information understandable to a larger audience without necessarily corrupting its original meaning. So, and if in that way you get people to understand politics, and then they can use that knowledge then to reshape or redefine their politics to their notion of politics, and that itself empowers them, hopefully, and drives them into action.
Nakamute pala ako. Thank you guys so much for sharing. I agree with you both. Like, especially for Matt, like the house to house, it really breaks down the barriers of social media. And I feel like a lot of people then, no, are kind of like explosive on social media, and sometimes it's counterproductive. And going out there, talking to people, and understanding where they came from, kind of like really gives you a vantage point talaga on how to connect with them and really like engage politically and help them engage them. And I also love the initiative that James brought up, like laymanizing and like making political concepts accessible to everyone. Because I feel like that's where I actually started. Like I was kind of like I started grade 7, because like grade 7 din ako nagbulat, because I have had access to infographics and simplified political concepts, and I feel like having those out there, making it accessible to teenagers, making it accessible to college students, high school students, or even children, already means a lot. So guys, thank you so much then for making these kind of formats, and I hope they get more clout on social media, as what kids say nowadays. Hindi ako bata, joke lang. Anyway, anyways, moving on guys. Grabe, ang hirap mag-move on. But anyway, it's been quite normalized that people don't have to be politically and socially aware of everything that's happening around them. So, why should we be pushing for political awareness now more than ever?
I think the experience of the pandemic has, in part, strayed people away from that thinking. Of course, the global pandemic hit the world hard, but with the right political actors, these issues can be mitigated. And unfortunately, we have to face the reality that global scenarios such as this pandemic are far from being distant memory, no. In the coming years, especially in the global tensions, no, there's a lot of conflict happening in the world, and when we think about politics as just people in places of government, people far sa Pasay o sa Batasan, siguro madaling kalimutan. But when we view politics as conflict, everyday conflict, no, the mere fact that I cannot walk the street safely because there's no footbridge, or the footbridge is too high, or it's traffic or pollution, these are all things that we're experiencing now. Right now, ang init. Ang init sa Pilipinas. And maybe it's a pol-sci student in me, but I really see how we haven't been doing our part to try and cool down those temperatures. And so, because of this pandemic and because of everything happening right now, I think it's a good wake-up call for all of us to say, bakit nga ba yung problema ay problema? And the problem is that sometimes the wrong people are making decisions. So as people, as a citizenry, maybe it's our time then to put ourselves in a position of power to make those decisions, no?
I don't wanna make an echo chamber here, but actually Matt has actually mentioned what I was supposed to tell in mine. But siguro to just supplement what Matt said about political awareness, it political awareness down to the below. It applies a bottom up approach in politics, because if the bottom if the lowest, if like sectors from below are empowered, then they are likely to help other people, the people in the upper pyramid I should say, be empowered as well. So dahil doon nawawala, nadidissolve yung boundaries, nadidissolve yung boundaries na, oh, it's only the elites who should only rule. Oh, it's only these oligarchs, or what we call in political science, the caciques, who should rule. But regardless of your social background, just as long as you're aware and you're ready to assimilate into that knowledge, you can turn it awareness into action. That as well zeroes out the notion that, oh, we use the privilege, the privilege equates to non-action. Actually, it has to be dapat yung privilege ginagamit siya to serve others, especially those who are in the lowest sectors, marginalized.
And I agree with that ending point, James. No, like, your privilege should be a privilege to help others. Then talaga, it should empower you to help others. Like, not in a messianic way, of course. But then, like, of course, if you have the means to, diba, why not, diba, James? Like, I really get your point. And also, same as Matt, like, I feel like a lot of things are political then. Kunwari, you brought things up about transpo and our world actually being so hot right now. Aside from me being hot. Joke lang. But anyway, joke lang. Aside from kunwari ngayon nga, tutong ako sa electric fan kasi super init, naka-aircon na ako, tapos ang init pa rin. And like, that thing in itself is already, it's political. Because like, bakit ang init? Why are the problems that were pointed out a century ago isn't still addressed until now? Or like, why is there no urban planning? Why are there no sidewalks in the Philippines? Like, bakit ang pangat ng transpo system natin? Who should be held accountable? Like, that's why, I agree nga, like, it's now na us being socially and politically aware should, like, be empowered, like, it should empower us then to call for systemic change. So, yes, I think I'm spewing out random stuff right now, but I hope you guys validate me. Joke lang, I'm just joking. But anyway, lastly, guys, org life, as much as it is fulfilling, is also enriching. What's one thing from the Ateneo Assembly you will take with you after college?
I think I could begin with that. Ever since I was freshman, I think Ateneo Assembly has taught me to prioritize others before myself. It does not really equate to pleasing others, but rather the idea of servant leadership. Because before entering college, I always thought I always associate leadership with in a top bottom view, but actually, you have to, like what I said, you have to reverse the pyramid. It has to be bottom up, and only servant leadership can do that. And actually, servant leadership is actually one of our core competencies.
For me naman, I guess it's pakisama. Sa assembly ko talaga natutunan kung paano makasama yung mga ibang tao. I guess I came from a smaller school, from a different place, and entering Ateneo is of course very big, no? But especially entering Ateneo Assembly, I was having discussions I've never had before, to the level I've never had before. Of course, like, I've enjoyed talking about politics before, but when you enter this space of Ateneo Assembly, it becomes so interdisciplinary, no? And I think that's something I'll take with me. The ability to just sit down with people and to face them. In Assembly, we don't discriminate. One of our values is non-partisanship. Not to say that we don't side with anyone, but to highlight the fact that we try to side with everyone. We try to see everyone as equals. And that's something I'm taking with me after I graduate. I'm a third year now, so 1 year na lang, poof, I'm out of Ateneo Assembly. But that's something I really hope to bring with me, no? Yun kung paano makisama.
Alright, guys. Alright. So, guys, thank you so much for sharing, no? James sharing servant leadership is one of the things you highlighted from your experience here in Ateneo Assembly. I really like. I've seen a lot of people who like try to actually actualize this in local governance. Like for us here in La Union, even though ang daming traffic, it's rare to see servant leadership, and I hope you guys get to bring it out there nga, and bring the principle out there. And also for Matt, I agree with pakikisama. I also came from a really small school here in Ateneo, and in La Union, and going into Ateneo, it's kind of like shocking to interact with such a diverse group of people, and pakikisama, knowing and trying to understand where they come from is one of the life skills I'll also bring out of college. And appear tayo guys dyan. So guys, now let's move on to the last part of our talk show, our fast talk, Would You Rather. Alright, so guys, are you ready to answer? Okay, baka pwede na lang natin unahin si Matt and then si James to answer para we won't clash. Alright, so first question. Watch the sunrise from the summit of a mountain, hike, or at the beach?
At the beach.
Arabi.
Ako mountain. Joke. Anyway, accidentally fall asleep in class and be left with the Zoom call. Oh my God, nangyari na sa akin to. With your teacher, or accidentally open your mic in class while playing a game?
Fall asleep. Kasi nangyari na rin sa akin, and I feel like ayoko mangyari yun pangalawa.
I'd rather have the second. At least nag-attend ng class.
Ay, true. Oh my God, yung second, get that 30, bro. Joke lang, anyway. Things you do not want to bring up again. Also, the first thing you're going to do when your school year ends?
Go to the beach. I haven't been to the beach this year.
Okay, ulit na ni Matt yung sasabihin ko na naman. Because I work out. But aside from that, siguro organize my fashion, like my wardrobe. Like I have to revamp my fashion sense talaga.
Alright, and now that we're entering face-to-face zone, I feel like we have to really revamp our fashion sense. Kasi ipon na ako ng damit. Kasi parang nawalan na ako ng size na damit ko dito sa bahay.
But of course, do not if you can use old ones, do so.
Of course. I'm also bringing my orchids to Manila. But also, ayan, what's one thing voters should keep in mind as we draw nearer to the elections?
Honesty. I think you have to be honest to yourself, and you have to make sure that the people that you're voting for are honest as well. You can admit failure, and that's okay. You're human. Politicians make failures. But as long as they're honest about it, we can recover and we can make better things happen.
Okay, mine. Platform and principle over popularity. The three P's, yung dalawang P over one. 2 is greater than 1. Popularity is less than platform plus principles. Wow, math equation.
Indeed. All right. I feel like people should, I don't know. I hope people ponder on that a lot. And I hope people who are driving past Ateneo right now heard that, guys. All right. Vote for ser- honest leaders, and be honest to yourself when it comes to like looking for candidates you align with. And yun nga, platform and principles over popularity. Porket may talk show yung isa, yun na. Joke lang. Anyway, um, before we end, guys, please do invite our viewers to the ongoing or future events or initiatives that you have in your orgs and how they can participate in them. Like, take for example, yung mamayang hapon, guys. Go.
Okay, go James. For later.
Okay. To all people who are watching this, we are inviting you cordially to go to Face the Nation 2 at the Crossroads, how first-time voters will decide the futures of local and national governance. Again, the bit.ly is FTN 2022 Reg. So please register. It's free, and you'll hear out you'll hear out many experts that will help you decide, will help you discern for the elections. Go.
And for future assembly projects, you could always visit us on Facebook. We're super responsive. We're also on Twitter. We also have a newspaper, citizen.ph, where you can access all of our articles, our hard-hitting articles, our critical analysis of top issues. Apart from, of course, all of our events, no. But yes, thank you so much.
Ayun. Guys, I hope you took down notes of what James and Matt, have in store for us, especially we're at Ateneo Assembly. Like, I feel like I'm gonna join them this record. Pero, magiging sampo ng org ko sa salita ako ng Ateneo Assembly. I'll just join their events. But anyway, thank you guys so much, for sharing your insights regarding your event at the Crossroads, and then for enlightening us with Ateneo Assembly. Like, I feel like Ateneo Assembly has so much to offer, especially with being socially and politically aware with all of their education informative initiatives. So yeah, all right. So that has been our 15th episode for this year's Kwentuhang MVP. Thank you so much to our lovely guests, James and Matthew, for talking to us about this Ateneo Assembly and their latest Face the Nation forum at a Crossroads. It's gonna be this afternoon, guys. Once again, its link is bit.ly/FTN 2022 Reg. You guys can check out Ateneo Assembly's page. So ayun, grabe, James, pwede ka nang makauwi from that French cafe. Joke lang. And of course, a huge thank you to everyone who tuned into today's episode. We hope to see you guys again next week for another round of meaningful conversations with our beloved organizations. And guys, once again, it's your boy Ralph, your org-active bestie na medyo ma-artsy all the way from 2BS Comtech. And this has been Kwentuhang MVP. Good night, tuloy. Good afternoon, guys, and have a great day ahead. And don't forget to join at the Crossroads this afternoon. See you guys.